All right, I have a whole bunch of these cut and welded, more like tacked. Here's my pallet. We're gonna build a nest. All right. No, I don't know what I'm doing. All right. However, somewhere in the center here, I've got a pipe that's going to come up. We're going to weld this to that. So I probably ought to find my center, or at least come close. So somewhere around here, somewhere around here. Total micrometer work. Let me find a piece of pipe. All right. Not really sure what the best angle is for this thing. I mean, I'm thinking something like, you know, working my way back toward the middle. We'll just tack this, see what happens. I got 2 contact points here. There is no right way. There is no wrong way. I guess if you talk to a bird, you might get a different opinion. What I'm really trying to figure out here is if this pile is even close to being enough. So I think there's going to be a lot of weaving it in and out. I think I have a nest. So this is just all those sticks welded in more than one place. This is going to slip inside the piece of 4x4 on the bottom side. On the top is where the parrot's going to sit. So I need to make some type of little bracket that probably slips over this, that we can throw some screws in. You know, if they want to make it permanent, they can always take a Torx screw that I use for decking and attaching material and screw it in the side. There's not going to be a lot of welding out there where I'm installing this. But anyway, I think it's going to look better from the bottom. Now, remember, this is about, 10 to 12 feet in the air. So I'm going to call this good. I'll hit it with a little muriatic acid. That'll make it rust faster. It'll also, lighten it up a little bit. I know one thing. Every time I walk by this golf hole, I'm going to throw a golf ball up here and start a little tradition of putting a bunch of eggs in the nest, as you would say. So, anyway, this is probably the easy part, because I'm going to get fancy with this tree. So I'll show you what I'm going to do with the tree. So that's what an actual redwood tree looks like. This is right outside of my shop. Ideally, I would make that bark look like that and the tree look like that. However, I am dealing with a piece of 4-inch pipe, 1/8 wall. I'm going to put these around, if I can get to focus on that, around, make it look like a knot, broken branch. Branches are not an option on this thing because we don't want idiots climbing up there. So anyway, it's going to take quite the effort to get up there. This is my idea of that bark. Now I know on the actual tree itself it's raised about 1 inch. This is just more, the 12, I think it's 14 gauge scrap. I'm just going to cut a whole ton of these things out and splotch them around. It's going to look right. It's not going to have, be the correct depth, but I mean, it's out of metal. I mean, doing something like that bark from that tree way back over there, I mean, I can't even imagine how many. You'd have to layer it, you'd have to rough it. Yeah, I mean, for like a 1 foot piece, it'd probably be about 100 hours. I'm going to try to get this whole thing done in about 40 or 50 hours. So you can see my big pile. I got another order from Bandon. But the ghost trees that I do for Bandon, actually, the one I hung up in my little golf simulator area, it's a little bit easier to focus on. But this big branch that comes up here, that one I can do. So I'm going to tie a little Bandon Dunes into this project. I'm going to make a piece of 2-inch go off of that 4-inch and go up, and then I could put a couple little branches off the top of that thing. So anyway, the whole trunk is going to be smooth, and then at that point the nest is going to be right there in the middle, poof, big nest, and around it's going to be this last little kicker. And the good thing about that is that's something I can take with me, weld on in the field, set this thing down. It's not going to weigh a whole ton. The nest will probably be separate. I'll probably bring just a nice big ladder, put the nest on, but I'll be able to weld that piece of pipe to this. So how do you make a piece of pipe into a tree? Thanks for the shop tour. All right, so this is how I'm doing that. So here's my piece of pipe. I actually snapped some lines, and you can see that chalk. I went over it with chalk. So I'm going to cut this big V out right here, and then just crimp that pipe closed, weld it, sand it, make it look gnarly, hit it a bunch of times with a hammer, add some branches to it, and this is going to be the upright. I already strained myself on the roller. I got that part down there all rolled close enough. It's thin so it kinks, but that's the magic of welding, is you can add stuff to it. So anyway, I will see you in a little bit. We'll try to figure out how to get that thing to sit there and look pretty. All right, got out here early this morning, cranked out another pile of ghost trees. Part of that order that I got to get out. There's the nest in the sunshine. It's this pipes day. So I showed you guys last night how I chalked a line. All right, let's see if we can get this thing to focus. But this is that branch that's coming up. So I'll show you I chalked a line, and then I was able to cut it with the plasma cutter. Didn't do the best job, but that's the whole point. Anyway, cut it, and then all you just was hit it with a hammer a couple times, bend it over, get it close. I'm a welder by trade. I could fill that without a problem. Anyway, so I'm going to weld that seam up and then start working on this branch and the main part of the tree. It's just, now it's a lot of just grinding, welding. Remember, this is my bark. I got to cut a, I don't know, a couple hundred more of those things. So when I get bored with that, I go back over to the plasma table, all that scrap that's underneath. That's all going to become this stuff. So anyway, I'll show you some progress along the way. So quick update. This is what I'm doing to the tree right now. So I'm also adding little knots to it. I just kind of a piece of 1.25 inch pipe, weld it around, weld the edge. I'll probably knock it down with a little bit with a sander. But now I'm working my way up the tree. I've got about 1/3 of it done. I've got a pile of metal. This was that tube that we cut. We cut it in half. See if I can even find the seam. It's right there. You can see the little oxidation right there. So that's that seam. I just hammered it over. It definitely goes down. It shrinks down. It's not to quite a point. I don't care about the point. I'm going to put little sticks off of this. So it's got a nice little swoop in it. That actually mounts on that post, which is very well welded to that piece of pipe. It's probably going to sit on there. I got to assemble this in the field, and I mean the field. It's the middle of a golf course. Unless I run a generator out there, I'm just going to use torque screws and throw a couple screws in it. Very little weight to that thing, maybe 2 or 3 pounds. The pipe is going to be plenty heavy enough to mount it. This piece of black 3-inch right here. This is 3-inch quarter wall. That's going to go in concrete. I'm going to about 2 feet down, have a foot sticking up. That's going to attach to, it's going to slide. This is going to slide over it. I might just bolt that in also. The goal is not to have anybody climb it. If they do climb up it, they're going to hit this nest. And I pity the fool that even tries to grab hold of that thing from underneath, because everything is razor sharp. I mean, not razor sharp, but it's sharp, and it's going to do some serious damage if you try to grab it. Anyway, that's going to slip right over the top of that, and the branch comes up. There should be about 2 inches of clearance where the branch comes up. This thing's going to be cool. However, there's going to be, a couple hundred of these pieces of bark. Right now I'm working on that with the plasma cutter, and all I'm doing is just coming down, making that, that circle. Is there a pattern to it? No. But anyway, I'm just going up, down, up, down, up, down. I'll film that just to show you what I'm doing. But I'm doing that on this lovely Monday night on Memorial Day. Just had a great meal. Shout out to all the families of veterans and all the veterans we lost to keep our freedom. It's an absolutely beautiful thing. We should have 365 days of Memorial Day, but it's nice that we have it as a national holiday, and I think it's our most important national holiday. And it's the perfect time. Spring is in the air. So anyway, I'm going to do that about, 400 or 500 more times. All I'm doing is just digging through that scrap bin underneath there. So that's kind of all I'm doing. Some pieces of scrap are big enough. Those are Bandon Dunes. I already chalked those out. That's the Bandon Dunes logo. But the smaller ones like this is perfect for this. Someday I'm going to make a giant eagle, and I'm just going to cut all this stuff right here into feathers, but I'm going to have to retire first. But anyway, that big pile right there, that's going to be done tonight. This is just, that's a ghost tree, cut out. So anyway, I'm going to use as much of that as I possibly can, and that's already paid for, bought. So this isn't costing me a dime. All right on, Jimmy Buffett. Comment below what your favorite Jimmy Buffett song is. Personally, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get creative. I'm going to put a few sticks on this branch going up, but I am going to weld in the words of my favorite Jimmy Buffett song, which is Cowboy in the Jungle. So anyway, everybody comment what your favorite Jimmy Buffett song is. But mine, to me, if I hear that song, I instantly go into all the miles I traveled while I was rodeoing, all the towns I saw, because Jimmy Buffett got me up and down the road more than anybody else. More than the Who. I mean, the Who got me. Quadrophenia was the go-to late at night. Still the best rock and roll album of all time, Quadrophenia by the Who. But Jimmy Buffett, when you're driving through the mountains, when you're driving in the country, when you're driving in Montana, when you're driving in the South, something about Cowboy in the Jungle, probably my favorite Jimmy Buffett song. So anyway, I'm gonna put the words on, and it's gonna look pretty cool. And the only person that's probably gonna know it's there is me and whoever watches this video. So anyway, I'll cut out some more bark, and we'll make some progress on this thing. It's supposed to go in by June 1st, so I'm running out of days. It's going to definitely go in by June 1st. So hopefully that maybe tomorrow night or the night after that post goes in, let that sit in concrete for a few days. I might weld a little bit of extension on the bottom of it, just to give it a little more in the ground. Kind of depends on how soft the dirt is. If that dirt's really, really hard, there's no need to make that thing go 3 feet in the ground. So anyway, it's going to be there longer than I am. That's kind of the goal. Immortal words of the great Nathan Johnson. $1.09. Deadline's approaching. So I get this thing to focus. Bark is done. So I'm gonna roll this thing for you. Anyway, that's the hard part. I don't know how many pieces are there, but it's anyway, I like the way that looks. Not quite the same as the tree, but I think that's pretty cool. Now I'm going to work on the branch. All right, 99% complete. Went and stuck the post in the ground at the great Northwood Alistair McKenzie designed best 9-hole golf course in the world, Northwood Golf Club. This branch here, it sticks on there. I'll show it to you when it's all up in the air. Anyway, we put the post in the ground, took about 20 minutes, hit that Hollywood graveyard dirt. I'm not sure if you guys know what that is, but Hollywood graveyard dirt is when you know, the movies in Hollywood when the guys are digging the graves and they're just down there with a shovel. It's that easy to dig. So I went and set my welder at a very low temp, and I wrote some of my favorite Jimmy Buffett lines on here. So there's, you know, I wouldn't say I'm the greatest person, you know, writing with a MIG welder, but there's ringling, ringling, slipping away. Only 40 people living there today. I've got a bunch of them here. There's a cowboy in the jungle, and he looks so out of place. And I would keep singing, but I don't want to totally embarrass myself. What else ones do I have? I've got, one of my favorite. I like mine with lettuce and tomato. Heinz 57 and French fried potatoes. That one there. Whoa! Sorry to do that to you. That is Life is Just a Tire Swing. No, that one there. This shows you how good my writing is. That is Life is Just a Tire Swing. What's that one? Nibbling on sponge cake. Anyway, where this thing's going to be, the only people that know this writing is up there is you and me. It's going to rust up really cool. Someday the archaeologists will take this thing down and say, what the heck kind of language is this? Anyway, this is tree language. This is Jimmy Buffett. And this stands for all the stuff he stood for. People love the man. That's all I can say. I mean, you're not that successful for that long and only really have one major hit in Margaritaville. But I know a lot of people that know every Jimmy Buffett fan by heart. I'm one of them. My buddy Barry, who's helping me with this project, he helped me today put that post in, and then he got a free round of golf out of the deal. Birdied the first hole. Shout out to Barry. Anyway, so Barry was with me, and we listened to Jimmy Buffett on the 40-minute drive out there. We listened to Jimmy Buffett on the 40-minute drive back. And anyway, it's going to be it's a sad world when we lose some of your heroes. And I know people die all the time and pass on, and the beauty of what we have is we still have those songs, and we got that memory, but we don't have the big smile. I'm trying to one-handed, I don't know if I showed you this yet, but put this tree all together. I'll give you a view from the backside. I'll give you a view from the backside there. But anyway, that's that scraggly branch going up there. I'm going to add just a couple little sticks to that one piece of 1.5 inches, just so a bird can sit on there and get a good view of the 8th hole at Northwood. So if you've never played Northwood before, it's a destination. Check out what Eric Anders Lang did in one of their golf series on Northwood. If you don't cry, you're not human. I mean, hands down. And that's brought the place lots and lots of notoriety. There's a great, they just added a really neat bunker, a kid that plays high school golf. Anyway, he is pretty much a senior project in high school. He redid one of the original bunkers that Alistair McKenzie had in. I was 10 feet from it, so he put it in the absolute perfect spot as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, big shout out to William and his pops. He's heading to Cal Poly in the fall, and he's going to be a landscape architect major, and he's going to be a golf course designer extraordinaire. You heard it here first. So big shout out to William. The next thing you guys are going to see, of course, that's the nest. Next thing you guys are going to see is this thing actually up and in and basically looking out over the 8th hole at Northwood. And please, it's a bucket list course, folks. It's not very expensive. It's the best walk you'll ever have. Giant redwoods all over the place. It's just, like I say, Alistair McKenzie drew it up, and it came to fruition, whatever the word is. And people that own it just absolutely love it. and love the people that come play there and everybody that plays there. It's just the best thing. And one last shout out as far as Northwood goes. There's a restaurant right off the 9th green, and the best bacon cheeseburger and fries in Northern California, hands down. So big shout out to that restaurant. So come up here, play that course. Man, I played it in the sunshine today in 82 degrees. If you could play it when it's a little bit cloudy, there's nothing more majestic than that white ball with these surrounded by these giant redwood trees with a dark sky. It is mesmerizing. It's right up there with some of the coolest things I've ever seen. It also looks great in the sunshine too, though. So anyway, come on up, check out Northwood in Northern California. Put it on your bucket list. Best 9-hole course, one of the top ranked 9-hole courses in the world. And when you're there, look on the 8th hole, look to your left, and check out Jimmy Buffett's parrot and a little bit of artwork. 8th hole, beautiful Northwood Golf Course. You got to look for it, or you won't find it. That's his Northwood's tribute to James Galanty Buffett. When you find it, throw a ball up there. See if you get one to stick. We'll add to it. But anyway, I'll give you the kind of the walk around deal. I like it. For those of you who have never seen the beauty of Northwood Golf Course, it's famous for its redwood trees. So for those of you who don't know what a redwood tree is, there's our artwork. And you know that that's about 11 feet in the air. But check out this dude. That is one of about 300 here on property. So that's the 7th green right there. Come visit this place. It's magic. All right. The parrot is in the background. Beautiful number 6 right here. That's number 7 down there. I mean, people, get yourself to Northwood. Come see this thing. Check out my little contribution. I got to give one shout out. I mentioned it earlier, but there's a senior in high school. Great kid. You're going to know, if you're into golf, you're going to know about him someday, because I believe he's going to be one of the great golf architects of his era. And I want to show you what this kid did for posterity's sake. So this is an Alistair Mackenzie designed course, one of the top par 3 courses in the world. And if we come right over this knoll, this kid took it on himself. Mr. William Carlson's his name. Going to be a freshman at Cal Poly next year, to create this bunker by himself. But check this out. Nice little dogleg tee boxes over there. Beautiful little dogleg right. But anyway, shout out to William. Fantastic job. There's the green. And there at that restaurant is where there's a cheeseburger, and this is paradise. Hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Sorry it was a little long, but come check out Northwood. Come check out the parrot. Hats off to James Galanty Buffett. And life is just a tire swing, my friends. Cheeseburger in paradise.
Cheers, Jimmy.